Hello and welcome to Third Power Life podcast. Today I wanted to talk about something I call the hidden blessings. And this is a thing that I've talked about a few times, but I realized it's something that I don't bring up often enough. And I don't know that I've actually shared it in a podcast episode and really wanted to give it to you. So especially if you're going through challenging times, this is an important episode. So we're going to talk about the hidden blessings that are all around us. So listen in. Welcome to my journey of self-discovery, life balance, career success, and business creation. This podcast works to answer the question of how successful professionals like us stop drifting and get focused on keeping our careers and businesses growing rapidly while having a full, balanced, and vibrant life that we absolutely love. What we call the Third Power Life. And this is the Third Power Life podcast. If you have listened to my TEDx talk or been to any of my talks really, there's a event that I talk about, my TEDx talk, it was the Three Towers, but it was just basically a really sucky time in life, 2001, 2002, where in the period of a little over 3.5 months, it was divorce, it was being laid off from my job, and the death of a parent, all in a very short period of time. And it was traumatic. I mean, there's no better word for it than it was traumatic. But that wasn't to say that it was all bad, right? I mean, from that, I learned a lot of lessons. I mean, I'm here talking to you, Third Power Life, the whole concept of greater visions and, third power performance and my life triad. All of that came from that horrible, difficult, traumatic time. So a lot of good came from that. But that's like later. That's like years. Like the next year is when I started coming up with my programs and all of that because I didn't want to redo it again. But what about during the time? How do you take when things are happening to you that are just horrible and hold on and be okay with it, right? And I wanted to relate some hidden blessings that happened. As I think about the things that happened to me, right? So it was a week before Thanksgiving in 2001, and don't want to get into specifics, but basically I move out, horrible, ugly, nasty divorce begins, right? And I'm alone on Thanksgiving Day, right? It's been a week. I'm in this little 1-bedroom apartment with a mattress on the floor. I have a pot, a plate, a fork, right? Just no furniture, nothing there. And my soon-to-be ex had gone somewhere. I didn't know where, took my daughter with her. So I was alone, very much alone on Thanksgiving Day. And I get this call from my father, right? And he was living in Delaware, and he was coming down to check on some property he had in Georgia. I was living in Greenville, South Carolina at the time. And he goes, hey, I'm coming down to check on some property, was figuring I could stop in and see the family for Thanksgiving. I'm like, well, you can come and see me, right? Because I hadn't told anybody what was going on. I was still trying to process this, this moving out and the divorce and everything. I hadn't told anybody, right? No, my family didn't know anything. And so I ended up saying, well, come see me. And we ended up spending most of the day together on Thanksgiving Day. And I didn't realize how much of a gift that was. I really didn't. But it was it was like there was this horrible, terrible thing going on with the divorce and with all of that. But there was this little thing that was like, it's okay, right? You're not alone. Somebody's here. There's a little hidden blessing in my father just showing up out of nowhere. Now you fast forward to January of 2002, and I'm working for this company, but it's been weird, right? The tech bubble has burst. My position had been kind of in flux, and I got this message from my boss that, hey Dan, I'm in conference room 2. Please come here. I need to talk to you. And what's funny is I knew right away. I'm like, well, it's been good, guys. I knew that my job was done. So went in, sure enough, job was over. Pack your stuff and go today. Now the funny thing is that, software developer, I'm websites, right? I had been after this guy to do a website for him for months. It had been like 6 months going back and forth and not sure, it's not ready, all of that. Well, I got an email at my home account basically at the same time I was in the meeting with my boss getting fired that, hey, we're finally ready to move forward with this, with this project. Now, it wasn't a ton of money. It wasn't going to replace my income, but it was something, right? And it was like the universe saying, boom, there's this terrible thing, you're losing your job, but here's this little thing, this little hidden blessing that it's going to be okay, right? And it amazed me the coincidence, right? The serendipity of it. The one that always gets me, and I will try not to get emotional here, is obviously, I'd lost my job and I needed to make some money. You don't go from 6 figures to 0 and nothing happens. It's not pretty. And so the tech bubble had burst. There weren't really any hiring jobs anywhere near the salary I was making. So I'm going to start my own business. I'll start a consultancy. Well, one of the first things you do is, you incorporate, right? And so I looked it up online, and apparently Delaware was the best place to incorporate. And I went online and did all of the stuff that I needed to do to get Greater Visions Incorporated finally came into being. It's my kind of the parent company. And I had great visions for where I wanted to go with my business, with the world. I want to make a difference, right? And then, shortly after, my father passed, and it was, another horrible thing that happened. About a year later, I was doing something. I don't know if I was opening a bank account or something where I needed my incorporation documents for my company. And so I was getting it. I found my articles of incorporation, and it was like the scan, and it had the stamp of boom, Greater Visions now exists. My company has been born, right? And I remember looking at it, and it had the date and the time, and it hit me that the date and time that my company, Greater Visions, came into being was within 30 minutes of my father's passing. My father took his own life, so we know pretty much when it happened. And my company, my Greater Visions, came into being within, it was 30 minutes of that time. And I mean, that's beyond coincidence. That's beyond coincidence. So the message, the way that I took it was, yes, there's this horrible thing that has happened. There's this terrible event in your life. But here's this little hidden blessing that says it's gonna be okay. interestingly enough, I remember a conversation that a couple of people had when I was in South Carolina. And they were talking about, what they want to do in the afterlife when they pass from this world, right? And the one lady was saying, I want to sit on a cloud and I want to sing praises to the Lord for all eternity, right? And this other girl, I remember I loved her to death, and she goes, "Oh, honey, not me. I want to be on the coincidence committee." And I remember laughing so hard, and I'm thinking that is so perfect. That is so perfect. All of what things have happened in your life where it's like it's serendipity. It's a hidden blessing, right? That's the coincidence committee at work. Like, yes, there's this terrible thing, but here you go. Here's that little piece of hope. Don't worry. It'll be okay. Right? The coincidence committee at work. That's what hidden blessings are all about. So, I mean, I've been through so many traumas and difficult things in my life. And, I'm sure there are tons of you out there that have been through far worse things than me, right? And yet, I challenge you to look for the little hidden blessings that tell you that it's going to be all right. Because they're there, I know they are. Sometimes it's a challenge to find them. Believe me, I know it's hard. But know that the universe will conspire to help you. Sometimes as challenging and as difficult as that is to see. But I want you to look for your hidden blessings. And I would love to hear your stories. I would love to hear what hidden blessings you've found in difficult times. In times where you've taken a risk and decided to do something new. What are the little hidden blessings that have told you that it's going to be okay? Even when it doesn't seem like everything may be going exactly the way you want it to, right? But there'll always be those little things that are letting you know. I would love to hear your story. But anyway, my friends, I want to share this story more because I think it's important. But that's it for today. Find your hidden blessings. They're out there. They really are. Anyway, find our hidden blessings because that's how we live our life to the third power. Till tomorrow, my friends. Thank you for listening to the Third Power Life podcast. Before you go, one quick question for you. Where are you on the path of life? Are you just drifting through your life? Are you fully in command somewhere in between? Well, you can find out where you are now by taking my new Commander Survey. It will tell you where you are on your growth journey and how to move yourself to the next level. You can find the link on the screen or in the show notes. Now, all I want to know now is, where do you stand?